you can see that I have my binding for my mug rug. This is the front. I've folded it all to the back. And in the previous video, I showed you how to sew this on, so go check it out if you haven't seen it. But I have these nice mitered corners. And so now I'm going to show you how to hand sew. I'm going to refold this one. My binding. I think that I've definitely just stitched in the ditch along the front. Stitching in the ditch is stitching right in between the binding and the quilt or whatever it is you're making. But that can make the back look really messy. And so me being the perfectionist that I am, I like to try and make it look just as clean as possible on the back. You can see that my corner here is not perfect. A perfect mitered corner, none of my miters are perfect. But a perfect mitered corner, this would actually come straight down. So I'm not super concerned about that. Again, this is something that takes practice. So I'm going to show you where to start. So I have my thread. I picked red thread. It doesn't coordinate with the pink. I would highly suggest doing a coordinating thread. But I'm going to show you, the first thing I'm going to do is this corner up here. I'm going to come in from underneath so that I can hide my thread. And I'm actually going to go through both pieces of binding here. This is a little extra security. So you have an option of doing a whip stitch here, which is what I'm going to do. It's where you just go right across the seam and you take a bite of the next one and then you come back out into the fold of the fabric on top. When you're doing this with the coordinating thread, the stitches are so small that it hides it very well. You can see my stitches here. I'm taking it a little bit bigger. Okay, so this is my last one. This isn't entirely necessary, but since I foresee, crumbs getting on this and it being washed a few times, I just wanted to be extra secure in my corners. So I'll do this for all 4 of them. After I get to the top, I'm actually going to run it underneath and come right back out the bottom. All right, so I've come back out the bottom here. And if you're right-handed, you might want to go along the top. I'm going to come down the side here because I'm left-handed. It's really just how you hold it and however you're comfortable with. But I'm going to come up right through this fold. You want to try and come out right on the fold. That's how to hide your stitches. And then you're going to go right in underneath where you just came out. So it's a little bit like a ladder stitch. It basically is a ladder stitch. You want to try and only go 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch down each time, unless you're just expecting this to be a wall hanging. Again, I expect this to be washed a few times and used. So I like to make mine a little bit extra secure. I cut my thread too long, can you tell? In fact, here we go. All right, so I've come out right on the fold and I'm going to go back into the back and the quilt batting, but not through to the front, right in front of it. And then I'll go down about 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch and come back up. And then I'll go right into the fold and same thing, go down 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch. Got caught on a clip. And I'm just going to keep going until I get to the next corner. So I'm back at a corner. Actually, I have a thread showing here. I have my miter, and I'm going to go whip stitch up the edge here. And again, when I get to the top, I'm going to push my needle back through to the bottom. This feels a little loose right here, so I'm actually going to do an extra stitch right here. Oh, a couple that are loose right here. I'm not sure. I don't know if I just took a little too big of a bite right, or step right there, but it was feeling a little loose, and so I wanted to get in there and tighten it up. So that's pretty easy to do. No one will ever know, especially if you're careful and trying to hide your stitches like I am. And now I'm going to continue going all the way around till I get back to the top. It's a little time consuming, but again, usually I'm sitting in front of the television or listening to a book. And this just looks so much nicer than it would if I stitched in the ditch with my machine. So take the time. People who know will appreciate it.